that's not the only Nike City Connect uniform to released last week. We have the Washington Nationals with their DC. I don't know. Do they have a name for this? This
The
uniform is
this is
it's a
like
DC street map. Is kind of the
the
theme. But
DC street map is. I don't know if that's what they're calling it, but I saw that in the description.
yeah,
I don't know.
basically, kind of a light blue, grayish style with some navy blue and white. A little bit of blossom. What I don't know, cherry blossom color. That was kind of the main theme of their 1.0 City Connect uniforms. These look a little more like the Nationals branding, but not really. Certainly more than the cherry blossom themed ones they had the first time. So very very blue gray dark blue, I guess is how you describe them. How did
Yeah.
they describe them?
Well, here's how they did, Smitty. Here's how Nike describes them. The cap, which is like a W with a star on each side. The outline of the Capitol Dome appears inside the block W, anchored
Yeah,
on either
could you
side
see
by the
that right
city.
away?
No, but I do
It's
now. Yeah,
it's
that's
the
kind of
negative
cool.
space in the center of the
Yes,
W is like
that's
the
actually
is the
pretty
Capitol
cool.
dome.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
they've had a version of that as a patch before, but they haven't quite used it that way. But you don't see it right away, which is cool. And then it does reveal itself eventually if you look at it long
Yeah, and
enough. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I misspoke. It's not two stars. Those are the city's beloved cherry blossoms on each side of the
Correct.
W. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I
They
see
really
this
lean into
hat.
that.
This hat I can get behind. Okay,
It's a good hat.
these are my favorite things. These are some of my favorite moments, much like the belt loop. We got under the cap because a lot of people are looking. I'm going to take my cap off and look at the green right here. How exciting! But the underbill of the cap is the city grid runs on the cap's underbill with a special curly W marking our home. So the map
Oh,
actually
it's a real
has where the
map of the
stadium.
stadium.
Yeah. So apparently, if you're
That's
lost and
cool.
have one of these caps, if your
Just look up into
portion,
your brim.
yeah, if the portion of the map, if you're on the grid of that portion of the map in your cap, mapping the cap and the hat, you can get to the stadium. How exciting! All
Have you been
right.
to Washington D.C.?
Very long time ago. I've like in my
Yeah,
teens. In my teens, I have not been back since. So
I was there as a probably as a 10-year-old. But I've been there a few times actually in my adulthood. But DC is pretty famous for their fucked up street system because it was built before cars. So like all roads lead to the Capitol. Essentially, it's kind of like a spoke and wheel type design, which is just bizarre. A lot of one way streets. So it's an iconic street map in ways. I think it's probably a frustrating city to drive around, but there it's not just like any city just deciding, oh, we're gonna any team like kind of just oh, we're gonna throw our street map on it. It's pretty famous for its bizarre streets, so that kind of makes sense if you know the history, and certainly people that are buying this shit in DC would know that.
Speaking of that, the city grid is all over the jersey, as you mentioned
Mm-hmm.
already. And the jersey features the city's iconic street grid in tones of American denim. We wear our city streets on our heart, and all our roads lead home. Look, it's like you wrote this.
I have been a graphic designer for 25 years, so unfortunately, I think in weird ways like these same Nike designers are describing. So, for better or worse.
Yes, for better or worse. Often cases worse. The
Yes.
chess logo, it's the interlocking DC receives a special 3D treatment in reference to the block W worn by the 1956 Washington Senators. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's a stretch. I've always liked their interlocking DC logo, and they're adding dimension to it, which is kind of cool. But whatever.
Chin. Yeah, you don't even need glasses. Uh, Arm patch. The Capitol Dome inside the Block W celebrates DC's city architecture and also includes a nod to our beloved Blossom. So the patch just it says it's a circle patch. It says the District of Columbia, district on the top, the top part of the circle of Columbia,
Yeah.
bottom circle. two cherry blossoms in the middle. So it kind of plays out the cap, really.
Yeah, it's similar to the cap.
Now, one of my favorite parts on the sleeve, on the trim of the sleeve is the mosaic detail. Are you ready for this? The mosaic detail.
I
The
don't know.
mosaic detailing represents the diverse makeup of Washington, D.C. Okay, I don't
Wow.
get it.
Okay.
It's a mosaic print that has black and blue and gray and pink and white. Okay.
Well, DC is a very international city, being the seat of our government. Yes, there's
Well,
much
not
diversity
anymore.
there. Yeah, well, let's not get into that, but yeah. So that is what they're referencing. How they're referencing it is kind of confusing, and I'm not sure it really makes sense. But
I just saw like maybe
I
an
don't know.
emoji representing each nation.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. But that's the furthest stretch. I overall like I this is a I like this jersey.
Okay. I think they're okay. I don't think they're as good as Houston. So I'm gonna go ahead and give them one middle finger up.
I'm gonna go double middle finger up. I like everything about
Okay.
these jerseys. I think because
Yeah,
I like blue. I like blue, so that's an easy sell for me to start. I like the hat a lot. It's not
I
overly
do like the
complicated
hat.
jersey. The most complicated thing is this multicolored mosaic trim. Who cares? Everything else just makes
Yeah,
sense. It's
you
pretty
can overlook
clear.
that.
So I think it's executed well.
The color scheme just does not say nationals to me. I mean, they're so red, white, and blue, and maybe that's the point to get away from that a little bit. But it's just the Astros. It just you knew that immediately. That's an Astros jersey. That's part of their proud branding for 50 years, 60 years, whatever they've been. I didn't really see that with the Nationals, so that's my only gripe. But I don't hate it. Just I don't like it as much as you do. So.
Yeah.
Word Hole Media.